You idiots! These are not them. You've captured their stunt doubles!
Hey, welcome to Half the Battle.
You know, talking about the core last Saturday, which is pronounced core because English is freaking weird, got me thinking. There have been quite a few knockoff toy lines of G.I. Joe.
So let's rank some of them.
But before we begin, I want to make it clear I'm talking about knockoffs, not bootlegs. A knockoff is a figure that uses the same body construction as a G.I. Joe, but they're their own unique molds and characters. No copyrights are being infringed. A bootleg is when existing molds are being ripped off, sometimes alongside the characters too. For this list, I'll be looking at plastic quality, detailing, and originality, plus whatever else springs to mind.
With that said, let's get this show on the road.
Fourth best, Unifighters by Galoob. These figures were just a little bigger than regular G.I. Joe figures, and their main draw was that they all came with vehicles. The plastic quality is okay, as is the detailing, and they were unique characters, but the names leave something to be desired. I mean, Colonel Kicker?
Really?
Also, their general aesthetic makes them look less like military figures and more like extreme sports stars. But I guess that was the point. Fourth worst, or even neutral, US Forces Defenders of Peace by Remco. Okay, let's get the bad out of the way first. The plastic quality isn't great. Okay, it's really bad. They often have broken arms because they're so brittle, and the accessories tend to be rubbery more than plastic. The detailing isn't anything to write home about either. The only reason this line is only fourth worst, a neutral position almost, is because of the character names. Commando Hank specifically, though names like Captain Combat or Combat King are nothing to sneeze at either.
This storyline is lucky that Hank became sort of a mascot for this channel, or it would have ranked way lower.
Third best, Power Commandos by Lucky Bell. Man, these things look goofy, but in a kinda cool way. Good quality plastic, decent detailing, and quirky enough to be worth actually collecting. Yeah, this storyline did good. Third worst, Soldier Force by Chap May.
These freaking things are everywhere!
The only line I myself can still find at retail today. They even pollute G.I. Joe searches on eBay and other places, so I mostly find them annoying. Now, they don't have the G.I. Joe body construction. In fact, the only thing they have in common is that they're about 4 inches tall, so they wouldn't qualify as knockoffs, except one of their vehicles rips off the Fang, or to be more accurate, it rips off a core helicopter that rips off the Fang. So this is a knockoff of a knockoff.
And speaking of that knockoff...
Second best, The Core by Leonard. Of course this was gonna end up high on the list. Both the plastic quality and the detailing were on par with G.I. Joe, and they had a wide range of characters. It's one of the most compatible toy lines with G.I. Joe, with the only drawbacks being those huge chests compared to the Joes, though I suppose this does give the core its own unique look. The second drawback are the subpar accessories in general, but they did have a few absolutely kick-ass ones, like a freaking triple chainsaw gun. It's ridiculous, but it's glorious. Second worst, various branded figures by Galoob. I'll just use the A-Team as an example here. Cheap, brittle plastic, generic accessories, outfits that look nothing like the characters, except maybe BA, and thin, scrawny bodies, except again BA. The vehicles were great, but I'm just talking about the figures, whose only redeeming quality is that the head sculpts resemble the characters at least a little.
And the best G.I. Joe knockoffs are...
The 1997 Bronze Bombers by Olmec Toys. I'm sorta cheating here, as you can't really call these knockoffs because they officially licensed the toy molds from Hasbro, but they're just so great they needed to be in the number 1 spot. Plastic quality is good, molds are great because hey, they're all G.I. Joe vehicle drivers, and they all have personalities and file cards. Plus, quite a few of them do have original head sculpts. The only thing that brings these down is the accessory choices. Water guns from Eco Warriors and Darklon's needle gun thing. All of them came with these.
They really should have had individual weapons.
Olmec did have original figures earlier, but they're pretty mid. They would have been in the 5th best or 5th worst spot.
And the worst G.I. Joe knockoff is...
Special Force by... I don't have a clue. Seriously, I could not find the company responsible for this war crime of a toy line. Some online sellers say it's from Remco, but the packaging doesn't confirm that. Maybe it was Remco, maybe Galoob, but they didn't want to admit it, or maybe another unknown company. This is the bottom of the barrel.
No, this is beyond that.
There's the barrel, then there's the bottom of the barrel, and below there's another barrel in the ground that's actually a septic tank, and this is the bottom of that. The plastic quality is atrocious, the figures are thin and flimsy, the detailing looks like it was done by a 5-year-old, which I wanted to say just as a joke, but considering where and when these toys would have been made, it could have involved actual child labor. And the accessories are a joke. I picked up a bunch of these at a flea market years ago, carded no less, for next to nothing.
And I still feel ripped off.
Also, the articulation is limited, as their straight arm and the head only move side to side, just like the A-Team. I should have mentioned that earlier. Maybe this was from Galoob. These are the ultimate "we have G.I. Joe at home" insult.
And that was the list.
Do let me know your own opinion on these knockoffs, or any I have left out, in the comments below.
Well, I'll see you next time, everybody. Hang on. No, I won't. Because October is coming up, and you know what that means.
You idiots! These are not them! You've captured their stunt doubles!